My name is Dr. John Chipman. I'm the Chief Executive and Director General of the International Institute for Strategic Studies, which is based in London, but is an international think tank with individual and corporate members in over 100 countries in the world, and offices additionally in Washington, Bahrain, and Singapore. I've just come from chairing a what-if session at the World Economic Forum at Davos, and the what-if question was, what if Iran gets nuclear weapons? And we had a splendid array of participants, including Ehud Barak, the Defense Minister of Israel, Amano, the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, President Richard Haas of the Council of Foreign Relations in New York City, and Khaled Abdullah Janahi, the Chairman of Vision 3, a consortium of banks based in Abu Dhabi. Essentially, we grappled a great deal with the question of what is the threshold to define whether Iran has a military capacity. And there are three elements, of course, to a nuclear capacity. First, the sufficient fissile material in order to make a bomb. Second, the creation of an actual military device. And third, the miniaturization of that device and its placement on a ballistic missile in order to be able to deliver a nuclear strike, in order to make a militarily usable nuclear capacity. Some might even go further and say that unless one had an arsenal, a dozen or more of nuclear weapons, one can't really speak of a country as possessing a nuclear power. The interesting phrase that emerged from our discussion was zone of immunity. This was used by Ehud Barak to define what concerned him. There would come a point at which Iran would be able to place its activities in all three of these areas, underground or beyond the reach of inspectors, thereby creating for itself a zone of immunity beyond the reach of a military strike and beyond influence of economic or political sanctions. The appeal that came from Ehud Barak was for those who are genuinely concerned about what a world would look like with an Iran with nuclear weapons. The pace of sanctions now has to be picked up. There can no longer be debate about their utility. The pace of those sanctions has to be built up. There was an implicit acceptance of the fact that there were limitations of what could be done with a military strike. Israel could perhaps perform a raid, the United States a much larger and sophisticated campaign, but the ability to be certain to destroy all of Iran's capacities would be low, and the only victory would be a delay in Iran's nuclear capacity. There were differences of views as to whether an Iran with nuclear weapons would pose a major danger. The representatives from Israel and the United States undoubtedly feeling it would. The representative from the Arab world wondering whether it would make such a huge strategic difference, and from China, that has lived with a North Korea with nuclear weapons, also a more relaxed attitude. But it's clear that the question of nuclear weapons from Iran is not only a concern for Israel or the United States. Many Gulf Arab monarchies and governments are equally concerned, as are others who feel that an Iran with nuclear weapons would promote more nuclear proliferation in the region, including by Turkey and Egypt. We had an invigorating debate. We didn't reach a conclusion, but this new term of art was put on the table, a zone of immunity, and look for the debate in the international press and amongst experts and governments to be focused a bit more on this term, zone of immunity, as people calculate whether sanctions will work or perhaps a military strike needs to be turned to, with all the dangerous fallout that would entail.